So when we now came back for the competition proper, under 20 Nations Cup, we did not do well. That was the slogan of we wobble, fumble, and stumble to the final. That was when that slogan came. You know, our first match, he was using players that he feel that can do it for him. You know, I was not started. Some of the players were not started, so we lost our first game at Unequal. So the Nigerian fans were not happy. So when we now got to the hotel, you know, we cannot because all the television station was about wobbling, fumbling, and we would stumble to the final. Every time one ball fumble and stumble to the final. So we cannot even watch television because then the journalists then were anything you do, they were not they say it as it is. Not like these journalists, they with all due respect, they say it as it is. If you don't play well, they will tell you that number 10 don't play well. They will tell you that number 12. They will not generalize it. They will just tell you the people that didn't play well. So they were not telling the coach to at least try other players who have tested the league. You know, people like us who played for the league, Nigerian league, and Nigerian league is very strong. So they wanted him to use us. So they started mentioning names that they should try the Nigerian leagues. I, myself, Olumide Harris, Gideon Magudu, the other guy from Kanu Pillars. You know, we are about like 14 of us that plays in the league proper. So, but those guys that he used were some of the guys that won the Under-17 World Cup for him. So, you know, people like Festus Okoga, Wisin Oruma was there. You know, he was our captain, but he didn't come for the competition proper this African because Lens didn't allow him to come for the Under-20 Nations Cup. So Wisin was not around. So we were playing. Our next match is against Zambia. So I was surprised when he made the list and he called the list I was to start. So we went to Nikon. I scored 2 goals, 2 free kicks. So we won that game 3-1. So when we now got to the hotel like this, a lot of scouts, you know, I just saw Bonfrijo. You know, Bonfrijo now came to my room and he said, this one is not trials. This one I'm going to Grasshopper. And as soon as after the competition like this, I'm going to Grasshopper that I have a passport. I say, yes, I have a passport because normally before, it's the NFF that would do passports for us, not we that would go and, not unlike this one that they say go and do, no, they would do the passport for us. So they did my own passport for me. So, and I told him, I said, I have a passport. So now look at it. He said, okay, 18, no problem. So after the competition, we didn't do well. We lost to Cameroon in the semi-final. So we won the 3rd place. So after they asked us to go, the camp was disbanded and everybody should go. So then my visa was ready. And I have another team again, Ghent of Belgium, then Hertha Berlin. So I have the 3 visas on my passport. But since Bonfrijo told me Grasshopper's own is authentic, that I'm going there to sign and I will come back. And I said, okay, fine. Let me go with and Bonfrijo was part and parcel of our national team. So I said, okay, fine. Let me go with Bonfrijo. So I went, it was Bonfrijo that took me to Grasshoppers. So when I got to Grasshoppers, you know, I signed for Grasshopper. After 4 days, they signed me. You know, they cleared me because then it was fixed. It was a fixed price from the NFF that any player that wants to go to Europe was $50,000. The club has to pay $50,000 and $5,000 is for the player. So it's mandatory. So they've said that one. So then we were about 1995. I left. So when I came back, they cleared me. I went back to Switzerland. So we're playing, Grasshopper was playing in the qualifying series of the Champions League. So they've never qualified in their history before, so we're trying to qualify. So, and I was still playing, I was invited for the Under-23 national team. You know, the 1996 Under-23 Olympic team in Atlanta. So we went to play against Maccabi Haifa. So that was the last match that we used to qualify for the Champions League proper. So we played in Zurich, we played 0-0. So we went to Israel in Haifa, we played 0-0. So penalty kick, we won. So we qualified proper for the Europa Champions League. So the next week, you know, we are playing against Egypt, Olympic qualifiers in Nigeria. So from Israel, from Haifa, I flew back with the team to Zurich. From Zurich again, I flew to Lagos for the qualifying match against Egypt. So when we finished, we played 0-0. So they now said, no, they will invite Super Eagles A players to help us. They now invited, for the second leg, they now invited Ikpeba, Olise, JJ Okocha, Kanu Nwankwo. Though Kanu Nwankwo was our captain in that under 23, but he was still invited for that match. So they invited Taribo West, Gaba Lawa, and about 10 of these grade A Super Eagles players. So Ikpeba scored the goal. We played 1-1 in Egypt. So we used goal aggregates because in Lagos it was 0-0. So we played 1-1. So we now qualified for the Olympics proper. So when we now qualified for the Olympics proper, I was having problem with Bonfrey Joe. So I told him, I said, listen, I want to come back to Nigeria. Since Grasshopper doesn't want to give me chance again, you know. I said, because I'm tired of me being in the second team and training the second team and training the first team together. It's not easy for me. So he was telling me, no, if I try it, he would drop me from the national team for the Olympics team. He would drop me. So one day I just decided on my own. I just entered plane again. I came back to Nigeria. So I told, because Grasshopper wants to loan me to Ferencváros of Hungary, because Tessie Fatoussi was there. So I now told them, I said, no, I'm not going to Hungary. I want to come back to 3SC. Then I said, why? 3SC will not pay them money. I said, yes, 3SC doesn't have money. Okay, they said, but the clearance will still be with them. I said, no problem. So I called Chief Taiwo Gujuba. I said, Oga, please, these people say you should call them and tell them you want me for loan. So 3SC was playing the Champions League. They were in the quarter-final stage. So he now called them. Then I said, no problem. So they called me in training in the morning and they said, I can go to Nigeria, that they've given me back loan to 3SC. So they gave me ticket and I came back to Ibadan. When I got to Ibadan, they were in quarterfinal. They have to register me for quarterfinal because the only quarterfinal you can register new player in Champions League. So they registered me. So my first match was against Orlando Pirates, quarterfinal, because they were the defending champion. You know? So, and Willie Okpada was their goalkeeper of Orlando Pirates. So we went there, they beat us 1-0. So they came back the following week to Ibadan here. Up to 89th minute, it was still 0-0. So the two Alatishe manufactured a penalty and it was hacked. So we played 1-1. We scored the goal, it was 1-1 aggregate. So we went into penalty shootouts. So Barua was our savior. We won 3-2. So we got to the final. So when we now got to the final, to the semi-final, I was invited to the Super Eagles. I was in the under-23 team. At the same time, I was invited to the Super Eagles. So I would play with the under-23. I would still go to the Super Eagles camp. So I was there like that. So we're still on that under-20 has problem because Abacha said when they took the hosting right from us, Abacha was not happy. He now said we will not go to Qatar because they now gave the hosting right to Qatar. Qatar now said, okay, they will do us a favor, they will give us, FIFA now said they will give, since they were the one that took it from us, because of military or something, they will give Nigeria a space. Abacha now said we will not represent Nigeria and will not go for that World Cup. That was why when that World Cup was thwarted, I didn't go for that World Cup because Abacha said we will not go. So I was in the Eagles again. 1996 again, we were supposed to go to the Olympic to the Nations Cup in South Africa. When we were in the lobby in Sheraton, they've announced the list. I was among 23 players. Announced the list. We were at the lobby. Wanted to go to the airport to fly to South Africa. Abacha again. Now sent the former minister of youth and sports. Was Ikazobo. No, group captain Emeka Omorua. He now sent him to our hotel. So we were at the lobby with our load and everything. I was with Rashidi Yakini and Amuneke. You know, so we were about going to the airport. We now saw, they said they want to see us in a meeting. Rashidi now said, no, we said this meeting, they will say we're not going to go. So we now got there. So we now, the news that we were not expecting, That was the news they gave us again. Say number 2. They said Abacha said we should every player will get $20,000 each. That with the political system between him and Nelson Mandela, we will not go for the Nations Cup. I said another one again. So, but the head of state said they should give us $20,000 each. That was 1996. So Rashidi Yekini raised up his hand and he wanted to ask the minister. So the minister said, if anybody has any question, Rashidi now raised it. Rashidi said, this $20,000, please, we don't need it. We want to go to the Nations Cup because our career, most of our careers are tied to that Nations Cup. Amokachi now raised up his hand. Amokachi now said he wants to talk to Mustafa, that is the CSO of Abacha. Said because he's his friend, he wants to talk, and we want to we want the minister to open a line now. He use his phone. We want to talk to the head of state, or want to talk to Mustafa. The minister now said, okay, that was not a problem. He now uses how did they call that one? Is it Turaya? That phone then it was that Turaya. Yes. We were just at the lobby like this, you know. He now called Mustafa. And Mustafa now said, Amokachi now asked him in Hausa language, said, what is the problem? We are not happy. All the players are, because Keshi was there too, he's the captain. Keshi was there, Siasa was there, everybody was just there. So he now said the players were not happy, and as we are speaking, we were about going to the airport when this bad news came, and we are not sure. He now said yes, said they had a meeting yesterday, and the head of state said Nelson Mandela and the Nigerian government are not on the same level. That's political, but they cannot explain. But that was why the head of state now said they should give us $20,000 for the 23 players. So as they were trying to explain, the CSO now said that's the final decision the head of state has made. There's nothing that can reverse it again. Everybody just sat. So people now said, Keshi now said, okay. Rufai now said, so when are we getting our money? Because most of us will be traveling back to our base. They now said, okay, by tomorrow evening, everybody should come and be picking their money up in the NFA, Nigerian Football Association, at Surulere, Ogulano Drive. They said we should come there. So Sanitoro was our Secretary General. So I went there around 12. So before I got there, I saw Ike, Ike entered the office, signed his own $20,000, collected his own $20,000. Rufai came. I was just sitting down, but I came before them. They asked me to sit down. I don't know what happened. So because we're only 3 home base, I myself, Hema Abudulai, and there's one player again from Rangers. Just 3 of us are the home base players. Because then I came back from Grasshopper already. So they now said, they now brought one white bag. And I saw Naira. Said, the Secretary General now said, that is your money. I said, no. But look at Rufai signing $20,000 now. Rufai was signing his own. They were giving me. And I said, okay, how much is this one? He said, it's 800,000. They gave Ike 800,000. They gave Hema Ebodilai 800,000. Because Ike was home base too. They gave me 800,000. So, as I was asking question, Ike said, Duke, leave them, where would they go? Waiting not go finish. That was what he said. So when we got down and I said, say Ike, why they go give us 800,000? When people they collect $20,000, when they sign? Ike said, Duke, leave them. Where could they go, no worry. Hema say, which kind of thing is this? When they were saying that, I just entered my car. I drove off. When I got home like this, and I called Amunike because it was my roommate. Then he was in Barcelona. And I called him, I said, he said, what did they do me? He said, what happened? I said, now 800,000 naira, then give me. He said, why? I said, no, we asked question, me, Ike, and Imam, they say we'll be home base. Home base, that's how. When na 23-man list, now they give money. I said, so we take sign. It's okay, make no worry. Say, see this bull. They be criminals. I say, no, wahala, it is well.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.